Hello and welcome to the second episode of this Getting into Eve video.
Skill training completed.
And first thing you can see down here is the notification feed. I realize I should probably have talked about it in the previous episode. But as you can see, we got 11 new messages, and here are all the messages that we have retrieved since we started playing. And it's all about the opportunities and the various skills that we have completed training. And if you can see here, we can now see that we have completed training drones level 2, drones level 3, and Caldari frigate level 3. And then it says we have trained a total of 3 skills since we were last online. Now, the first thing I usually do whenever I log on is check the corporation window over here. We're still in the NPC corporation, which is the State War Academy. And if we look information on State War Academy and select attributes, we can see that it has a 11% tax rate. That means that whenever I complete a mission or kill NPCs, I get a reward for doing that. But I also pay 11% of that reward in taxes to the corporation. And being in a NPC corporation, that means that this tax goes into nothingness and will never be seen. But say if I was in a player corporation, then this tax could come back to me in some ways, such as a ship replacement program, or maybe even free ships and other cool things. Now, what I wanted to check in the corporation tab out here to the left on, or the corporation window out here to the left on the Neocom is the Wars tab, and I always make sure if we're at war or not. One of the first things I do when I log on. The reason for this is because a lot of the nullsec corporations don't allow their players to fly in highsec during wars, so keep that in mind when you join a player corporation. And if you feel like you are still kind of learning the basics of the game, then and feel like you want to stay in the NPC corporation, then then that's fine, because NPC corporations cannot be war declared. Alternatively, not alternatively to that, but alternatively to the view we have of our ship here right now, there's another view that you can use that I didn't talk about in the previous episode, and that's the captain's quarters, which we get to by pressing this blue arrow key up here next to the undock key. And it kind of look like this. Most people don't use it, but I kind of think it's nice to use it. After all, we spent all that time creating our character. It takes a while to load, so... And there we go. And here's our dude inside the captain's quarters, and looking all shady with those shaders. Anyway, let's not drag out this too much now. The second thing I always do when I log on is to check my skill training queue, and we can see here that we have progressed about 25% into Caldari frigate level 4, but there's skills that will take a little quicker to train that I want to put in here, and that's CPU management level 4, as well as power grid management level 4. Yeah, and it replaced the Caldari frigate skill there because we still are limited to 24 hours per day on the trial account. And the reason I want to train up CPU management and power grid management is because we remember I mentioned the CPU and power grid on our ship over here, and the more things we put on our ship and better things, the more power grid and CPU they will consume. By training these 2 skills, we will increase the maximum CPU and power grid of our ship, and that will make it easier to fit out our ships. And I've already done some research and came to the conclusion that I will need to be able to fly a ship we will get later with the fitting that I kind of want for that ship. Then I will need to get these 2 skills up to level 4. You shouldn't wait too long to train these to 5, because you pretty much need them at 5. And there are 1x skills, so they go really quick to train. Well, there are no skills that go faster to train than 1x skills. But and if you're ever unsure what you want to do in the game and unsure what you want to train for, these are a good skill to train in the meantime while you think of that. Because no matter what you choose to do, you will pretty much have to train this up eventually anyway. Yes, I'm to upload the changes. Now, as we progress through this episode, we'll probably get more skills to train. But I'm gonna start one of these career missions over here, and I'll talk as I go along. I figured we'll start with the let's start with the business. This here just says that you should not decline or fail on these missions. Balancing the books. Yes, I have something for you. I need someone to safely transport these data sheets. They contain various files that relate to matters of national security. Not something we can entrust to anyone less than a capsuleer. Once you are delivered them, contact me and let me know you have completed the mission. I have something else ready for you by the time you get back. As a show of good faith, I'll give you a brand new mining frigate skill book if you accept the mission, and I suggest you start training that skill. You'll need it later. So, if we look at the mission details here, we need to pick up an item in Ytra, Planet 6, Moon 4, State War Academy, and that's the station that we're docked on. We can see that up here. And we need to deliver this to Unpass, Planet 8, Moon 11, Prompt Delivery Storage. And to easily figure out where we have to go, we just right-click here and set destination. And since we need to come back here, I'm gonna right-click on the station we're already in, where we pick up the item, and select Add Waypoint. And now we can see up here in our route that it has added to the squares, and the squares mean stations. So we know that the first stop is a station and the second stop is another station, which we're already at. And as he suggests, that when I accept the mission I will get the mining frigate skill book, and he does suggest that I will need it later, so I should train it straight away, and so I'm going to do that. I'm going to accept the mission. Oh wait, I don't think I have enough collateral for this mission. No, I don't. Let's start with a exploration mission, actually. Oh yeah, don't show this again. And I just need to go out and warp to some place and pick up an item, basically. Something just came up that's right up your alley. Welcome, young Komamutu. Let's see if we can make an explorer out of you. Once you've undocked into space, enable your sensor overlay and look around for locations named Anomaly Training Site. This is a cosmic anomaly, which means it will be easy to find. Warp to it and I'll give you further instructions once you've made it there. Don't worry about combat this time around. We've cleared out the area for you. So, this mission will pay out 99,000 ISK, and ISK stands for interstellar credits in this game. There's a currency in the real world, in real life, also called ISK, which is Icelandic kroners. Just so you don't confuse those for the in-game currency. But incidentally, EVE Online is developed by a Icelandic company called Crowd Control Productions. So, surprise, surprise, they use the Icelandic currency ticker for the in-game currency. So we got an opportunity thing for accepting a mission, and one for starting a conversation earlier. Anyway, now all we have to do is undock the ship and find that cosmic anomaly. Undock. And here we're in space, and what he mentioned about and the sensor overlay, that's the sensor overlay scanning that you saw switching across the screen here. And now that it has finished scanning, we can see these colored markers on this sensor overlay around our donut. If we rotate the camera towards, so one of the green ones are facing the up point, that means we're looking at it somewhere, so it should be somewhere in this direction, but it won't let us know if we need to look down or up. But I did see that it is right there. So when I look down, and this is a asteroid belt remnants, that's not what we needed. We need a training site. So if I look behind us here, there is a anomaly training site, and that's what we need. So I'm going to hold the left mouse button here again and select warp to within 0.
Warp drive active.
Yes, I know it's a lot of repetition, but repetition is good. Another thing I should probably mention about corporations is that a lot of new people that come to EVE Online and previously played other MMOs where they are called guilds, often call them guilds, but they're not called guilds in EVE Online. They're called corporations, and yeah, try not to call them guilds. I can't really think of any good reason, but some people they really don't. They can go a little haters on people that call them guilds, but haters are gonna hate. You've done well. You're now inside a cosmic anomaly. Normally there would be hostile ships present, but our people have already cleared the area. All you need to do now is recover the proof of discovery document we left there. You can find one of them in the nearby training container. You only need a single document. It will serve as a physical proof that you have passed this stage of the tutorial. To make sure to recover at least one. And if we check in our overview up here, we can see there's this sort of gray gradient box that's kind of smaller than the stations. And underneath it says training container. So we're going to click on it, hold the left mouse button, and select the open cargo button. And that will make our ship, just as before, with the Rex, approach the container, and then once we get within 2,500 meters, it will open the cargo, so we can loot the documents. Loot all, and it's time to go back to the station. So yeah, I'm sure you're starting to figure out how to fly around, so I'm not going to repeat that much more aside from this repetition we had here now in the early parts of this episode. And here we can see the person that we opened a private conversation with and added to our contact list last time to complete the opportunities. And we can see by this green circle here that he is online. It would show the standing of him as well out here by the green star, but since he's in the same corporation as we, it will just show that he's in the same corporation as we. And now that we're back at the station, we will open up the inventory and we'll drag the proof of discovery into the item hanger. Then we will talk to the agent again and hit complete mission. There we go, and now we should have retrieved another skill book, I think. Yes, there it is. Survey. We should train this to level 1. There we go. Don't show this again. Yeah, I thought it said that it would knock power grid off the skill queue, but it didn't, so we're fine. I think I'll proceed with the exploration chain actually. So request mission, and in this this mission we will be granted a ship called the Bantam. The Bantam is the Caldari logistic ships. I'm just gonna read through this and then I'll talk, try to talk more about the ships while I do the mission. Just the thing you want. Your sensor overlay easily tracks cosmic anomalies. Other types of sites collectively called cosmic signatures will be much harder to find. And you'll usually need to boost your overlay by using scan probes. These cosmic signature sites contain various kinds of treasures, ancient ruins to sift amongst, secret data facilities to hack into, and exotic gases to collect. There are a great deal out there for an explorer to uncover. And you need to understand how to react to each type of site. Therefore, before we send you off to complicated scans and potentially risk your ship in the ensuing discovery process, I'm sending you to a training facility where you'll encounter safe examples of what you might find out there. Use the ship I'm giving you, follow the instructions you're given on site, and report to me after you're done. So I'll accept the mission, and I'll use the ship he gave to me. And if we can see here, in attributes, if we scroll down, ship warp speed is 5 AU per second. If you compare that to the Ibis, which we have right now, it only has 3 AU per second. That means we will be warping a whole lot faster with the Bantams. So, and since we don't need to do anything but warping and flying around in this mission, all I'm going to do is assemble the Bantam and make it active. And what we also could do, and what we probably should do, is rename our ships. But in the inventory you can right-click your ship and change name. And I'm going to call this Bantam because I have such poor imagination. If you can pick any name you like, as long as it's not offensive to anyone. And now that we have done that, I'm going to undock again. And since I'm not going to do the business mission just yet, I shall remove these waypoints. Remove. And yes, this mission is a little bit different because we can't see the site in space with the sensor overlay as we did previously. Now we need to warp to a certain location in space just specifically for this mission. And there are two ways we can do that. We can right click in space, and under agent missions we can select the mission and choose encounter dead space, warp to location. Or we can come under here under the agent missions can select the down arrow key here, and we have two options. We can dock at the station where we pick up the mission, or we can warp to the location of the mission. So I'm going to warp to that.
Active.
Now, as I was saying, the Bantam is a logistics ship. It gets bonuses to remote shield booster amount and remote shield booster activation cost, as well as a roll bonus, 500% bonus to remote shield booster transfer range. Essentially, this would be called a healer in your traditional MMO, but in Eve, it's not called healers, it's called logistics, and if you're flying, playing as one of the other races, such as the Galente. Actually, I'll talk to this person here first. Ruli Isurin. Greetings, pilot, and good work finding your way here. My name is Ruli Isurin, and I work with the Sisters of Eve as an advisor for Capsuleers in training. Although I'll be offering you advice as you go along, don't forget that you need to report back to your own agent. You've just arrived in the staging pocket of our training facility. Ahead of you is an acceleration gate. These powerful structures are able to fling your ship thousands of kilometers forward and deep inside. In order to operate them, you must be within 2,500 meters, as with pretty much anything you want to interact with, and then activate the gate. Head on through to the next pocket by using it. And we're already within 0 meters of the acceleration gate. So all we have to do is click the activation gate up here. Now, as I was saying, if you're playing as the Galente, rather than the Bantam, you will have the Navitas, which increase remote armor repair amount and has a bonus to a remote armor activation cost. And like the Bantam, it has a range bonus to its armor repairs as well. That is good work. You'll find acceleration gates like these in many sites you uncover. They will connect you to other pockets, often take you deeper within a complex. You're now inside a supply area where, before we show you the different types of sites, we'll provide you with the equipment you would normally need to find them. Over in the distance there is a cargo rig named Exploration Supplies. Inside it you will find 2 pieces of equipment, a core probe launcher and 8 core scanner probes. Take them both. So we have a acceleration gate here again, but we're not going to activate it just yet. We are first going to pick up some loot in this container over here. Now, as I was saying, so the Navitas is the Galent logistics frigate. If you're playing Minmatar, you will have the Burst, which has a bonus to remote shield booster amount and activation cost. Well, I think it's this same bonuses as the Bantas. And so yeah, this is what you'll be flying as Minmatar at this point. And here we have opened the cargo container now, so I'm going to take loot all. And Ruli Isurin wants something again. Although the sensor overlay can find cosmic anomalies, it cannot get a good reading on cosmic signatures. Signatures are an entirely different class of hidden sight. To be able to warp to them, you need to use scan probes. Scan probes are deployed much like firing a missile by hitting a scan probe launcher, loading these scan probes, and then firing them into space. Think of scan probes as little ships. They have built-in scanners, just like you, except these ones can reach out to 32 AU. AU stands for astronomical units, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. You launch multiple probes at a time in a formation to maximize scan efficiency. They are even equipped with warp drives, so you can position them around the solar system without actually having to move yourself. As you might imagine, using probes allows you to cover a much larger area of space in a faster time. You will also find a couple of civilian modules in the supply crate, Civilian Data Analyzer and Civilian Relic Analyzer. You will need these modules in later missions when you learn about some of the things you can do in the sites you find. You should fit them to your ship at the same time you fit the probe launcher. Take the probes and launcher as well as the Civilian Analyzer modules and head into the third pocket. This area will show you what a data cosmic signature site might look like. So we're just gonna... well, first of all, we're gonna get clear of this structure here, because we might bump into it and it's really annoying. And then we're going to activate this acceleration gate. And let's last but not least, let's not forget what you'll be flying as a Amarian, which will be the Inquisitor, which has the same bonuses as the Calent logistics frigates. And yes, this is what you'll be flying as a Amarian at this point. Now, we're back to Ruli Isorun. You're now inside what a data site might look like. Data signatures are found when your scanner takes an area with naturally high electronic interference. Electrical activity is a telltale sign of communications facilities, data storage hubs, and other cellular areas. Excuse me. An enterprise encapsulator like yourself can train in the art of hacking and bypass the security systems of these complexes to get at the valuable items and data hidden away underneath. There are many scientific and technological resources that can only be found this way, such as unique blueprints and decryptors. In order to infiltrate these systems, a encapsulator needs to train to use data analysis modules. When you're ready, head through to the next pocket, which demonstrates how a relic site might look like. And we have already landed within the acceleration gate, and this is what a data site might look like. I'm not gonna spend too much time here, and simply just gonna move on.
Warp drive active.
Scan probes can also find relic signatures. These special signatures are found when your scanner probes detect an area with man-made structures but little to no electronic activity or heat signatures. Typically, these sites represent ruins or abandoned areas. You're not just a starship captain. With the right training, capsuleers like you can become archaeologists as well. You have the ability to retrieve valuable items from ancient ruins in space without ever leaving your ship. To recover items in this way, you'll need to train to use the Relic Analyzer module. This advanced piece of equipment allows the pilot to quickly ship through ruins and recover anything of value. When you're ready to continue, use the gate to move to the final pocket, the gas site. And yeah, here's what a relic site might look like.
Warp drive active.
area represents what a gas site might look like. Gas signatures are found when your scanner detects an area where gas clouds have collected into harvestable clusters. I should perhaps point out at this point that the clouds found in these areas are used to make drugs known as boosters. Not all of them are illegal, of course, but the entire booster industry is quite shady. The type of booster you can make is determined by the type of cloud you find. There are two broad types of cloud to find: mycocerocin and cytocerocin. I can hardly pronounce this. Of those two cloud types, there are 8 individual flavors to find. I won't confuse you with too many details right now. All you need to remember is that the gas sites have gas clouds, and that those clouds can provide the raw materials to make boosters. In order to extract the materials from a cloud, a capsuleer needs to train to use gas cloud harvesters. This is the last area. You've made it through the training complex. Hopefully from all of this, you've learned a few things. You should report back to your agent. So the mission is complete. We can see that by the green ticker up here next to the mission. So now the two ways we can get back, we can, or 3 actually, we can just select the station and click on dock, or we can right click on space, go on the mission, agent home base, and then dock, or we can select the mission out here and choose dock.
Warp drive active.
You'll use whichever means suit you the most. If you're in a different solar system, or star system, it would, instead of saying dock, it would tell you what system the agent home base is in, and then you would be able to select set a destination here, so you could easily get the route planned out in your autopilot route up here,
Docking permission
and
requested.
easily find your way
Docking
over there.
request accepted.
And we're done with this mission. Complete mission. And we're going to request the next one. We're already at step part 3 of 5, so this is going pretty quickly. Now we need to do a bit of scanning with the equipment we picked up. I have just the thing you want. Now you'll start scanning for each type of cosmic signature, something you can only do by using core scanner probes. First up is data site, and that means you'll need to fit your chip with the civilian data analyzer you picked up earlier. Scan down the site with your scanner probes, find the container inside, and hack it open with the data analyzer. Then bring the results back to me. Your loot from data sites will be useful for invention, a research process that produces blueprints for advanced tech ships and modules. As a side note, while this training mission is perfectly safe, failed hacking attempts in general may cause the container to self-destruct, and even cause damage to your ship, so be careful. And once we complete this mission, we will get the hacking skill book, which will definitely come in handy if you're into exploration. And we will also get the bonus award if you can complete this mission within 6 hours. 104,000 is not too shabby. Accept. And let's not forget to fit this stuff onto our ship. Alt F again to fit the ship. Open the fitting window. And I'm just gonna drag this onto the high slot because it's a high slot item. We have a civilian data analyzer and a civilian relic analyzer. And let's not forget to load up our probe launcher with these core scanner probes. And I haven't talked about ammunition yet because we haven't retrieved any yet. And yes, there are ammunition in this game for the guns. Our civilian guns on our IBIS don't need ammunition. So unlimited ammo, that's not to be frowned upon. But anyway, you just drag the item on top of the item you want to load them into and they'll load. You do the same thing with ammunition. I'll show that once we get to the military chain or the military career missions. But yes, now that our fit is shipped for doing a bit of exploration and archaeologically stuff and hacking, we can unlock and do this mission. Now, as soon as we come out in space, I'm going to hit Control Space to stop our ship. And we can see here that our ship starts slowing down and eventually it will stop. And then I'm going to hit F1 to launch the scanning probes. And then we also need to come down here to the left of our donut where we have scanners. And I'm going to open the probe scanner. And here I'm going to click on launch spread formation, which will put them in spread formation. Then I need to come to the map, which I can either click on the map out here like I did before, or I can click on this button here. So they provided a neat little shortcut for us to the map. And here we have the map of our star system. Yeah, if you zoom out we get the many star systems. But right now we want to be zoomed in, and here's the spread formation that I launched the probes in, or well, told them to use by clicking the launch spread formation. And there are generally two different ways of scanning. We have the spread formation, which is for it's for detecting a lot of things in space. But if we look here, we detected several different cosmic signatures, and I can already see that one is a data site, which is surprisingly enough, because you usually don't get much more than this from spread formation. But since we need a data site, I'm going to focus on this one by clicking on it, and we can see that we now got a single red circle in the middle here. That means I can focus specifically on that location. And to do that, we will use pinpoint formation because now we won't detect things all around the system. Now we will focus on scanning this single object down, or cosmic signature. So I'm just gonna position this arrow cube in the center, and I'm going to hit scan once again. And we can see the scanning probes warping to that location, and now they're scanning. The most important thing about pinpoint scanning is to make sure that all these bubbles overlap the area you wish to scan. And now that we have scanned down that data site, I'm going to right click it in our probe scanner, and we're going to save location, and we can call this data training site. That will be fine. And here I'm going to go ahead in this career chain, because I know we will have to do this later anyway. So I'm going to scan down 2 more sites, and once again I use the spread formation because now we want to scan the entire star system again to get back these other cosmic signatures. And here's a pretty strong signal. Well, the strongest signal of them all, 21.2%. So I'm going to focus on that one, and we can see that it is somewhere around here, but it's not as a good signal as we had on that other object we scanned. So I'm going to use the pinpoint formation, but I'm going to make the scan area larger so it covers the entire red circle, and then I'm going to scan again. And we can see that this is a relic site now. once again I'm going to click on it to focus on it, and we get this yellow arrow over here, and that because our probes think that it is over here, but they aren't entirely sure quite yet. So we shrink these scan area bubbles again, and then we are going to position the center area on top of here. Just gonna tilt the camera a little bit to make sure that we really get them on top of this arrow here, and that will do good enough. Scan again, and this might seem like it's a long process, but a really high-skilled exploration character will scan much faster, and once you get used to exploration, you will scan these down much faster. And I've heard about people doing it really quickly, like scanning down sites in way under a minute. So now I'm going to right-click this relic site and save location. I'm going to call it relic training site. And I know we will need one more site, so once again, spread formation and scan. Now, chances are, while I'm scanning down these sites, that somebody else will come and take these data and relic sites. But I'm guessing we'll just have to hope that nobody does that. And there's a whole bunch of signatures over here, so I'm just gonna move the probes over here, make the area a little bit smaller, and then I'll scan again, because they're pretty easy to scan down, and I don't want to spend forever scanning things here, because some of these might also be other data relic sites which we already have, so I don't want to find those again. And here we have a whole bunch of sites, and here's a gas site, which is the third one we need, and now I need to pinpoint formation. And once again I am going to position these right on top of here. Now, there are different difficulty levels of scan sites as well, and I'm not really into exploration that much on my main character, so I'm not entirely sure what they're all called, but I know sleeper sites are really hard. So you might not, if you find sleeper sites, I think we'll say somewhere here that it is a sleeper site, then you might wanna avoid those until you get a little better at what you're doing. And now we have scanned out this gas site, so right click, save location, same as we did before. And I'll come back to the locations in a bit. And now that we're done scanning, we want to recover active probes, make them disappear from the map, and we can't scan anymore or anything like that. If you want to scan again, you will need to reload your core probe launcher. You can do that by right-clicking it and reload core scanner probe once. There are different scanner probes in the game, and different launchers can use more than just these core scanner probes. And now we want to warp to our data sites, as the message suggested. So we right-click in space, and we have personal locations right here. And here are the 3 sites we saved. So I'm gonna take the data training site and warp to within 0.
Warp drive active.
And when you warp to sites, even it doesn't have to be cosmic signatures, it could also be cosmic anomalies. You sometimes get this message on the screen telling you a little bit about the site. This is a training area for Capsuleers studying how to scan down data signatures. Once the area is discovered, Capsuleers must use a civilian data analyzer module to recover the proof of discovery document from the container inside. Close. And over there's the container, and now Ruli Sorin wants something again. Good to see you're still sticking with the pilots. I'm just gonna hit open cargo on that container, so I'll read what she says while I'm approaching the container. You're doing well, keep it up. You're now inside the data training area. Ahead of you, you should see a training container. You will need to use the civilian data analyzer to access it. breaking down its defenses to get to the core and unlock it. Inside, you will find the proof of discovery document that you need to provide as proof for finding this area. Normally, you could expect to find all kinds of useful resource sources inside a hacking container. All of it relates to a process known as invention, a research method used to produce advanced equipment and vessels, known as the Tech 2 category. Tech 2 variants of modules and ships are often far more powerful, and many Tech 2 ships possess unique abilities. The skill books you should need to train in order to invent can be found on these sites, as can the materials required to begin research. For inventors, data sites are particularly valuable. Now, obviously, the harder sites you do, the more valuable reward you get, but in a general, the lower security status the system is in, the harder the sites there will be as well. And generally in high-sec, data sites are more valuable than relic sites, but in null-sec, relic sites are generally more valuable than data sites. But you should probably do them all as a new player anyway. And oh yeah, we need to target this thing by holding control and clicking on it. You can also hold control and click on it in the overview, just like you target an enemy and or a asteroid. And once we have targeted, we need to use the data analyzer, and we can begin hacking this container. Now this is kind of like a mini game. You just click on these nodes, and we already encountered a defense subsystem firewall, and if we had any other routes to take around here, which you sometimes have, then we should definitely explore those areas first before attacking the firewall. But now we have no other option but to attack the firewall, so just click on it and you see it took some damage, but we also took some damage to our virus coherence. And this over here is virus strength. The more virus strength we have, the more damage we'll do to firewalls and system cores, etc. And the more virus coherence we have, the longer we will be able to resist any countermeasures that we could encounter in here. And I'm going to click on it again to disable the firewall. Note that our blow there was a killing blow, so we took no loss on our virus coherence from that. And here's another good suggestion. This one here does not unlock any new routes to take, but this one unlocks the route over here, so I'm going to start with that one. And simply proceed in here and try to unlock as many routes as possible as I go along. And I should not stress this too much, because sometimes you find the system core, but then you're so quickly that you click on the next node without realizing, and then there's a firewall and you have to deal with the firewall first and then the system core. And now I discovered a firewall right here, and I still have these other routes I can take. So no need to, if you don't need to attack the firewall, don't do that, just proceed to see if you can't find the system core. And always check all the available nodes before attacking firewall. But I did not find the system core here, so shit. Yes, there it is. And now I don't have enough coherence left to be able to defeat the system core. So that hack failed. Just give it a couple of seconds, and then we just click on the data analyzer again, and we try all over again. And there we go. Now we can open this container, and we shall loot all. And I know the next step of this career chain is to go to a relic training site and hack that. And since we have the relic analyzer equipped, I'm just going to warp there straight away and hack the relic site while I'm out in space anyway. This is a training area for Capsuleers studying how to scan down relic signatures. Once the area is discovered, Capsuleers may progress through the course by recovering a proof of discovery document from the container. A civilian relic analyzer will be required to complete the course. You're now inside the relic site training area. Ahead of you, you should see a training container. You will need to use the civilian relic analyzer to access its contents. As you approach the containers, I will offer you further information on what you would normally find. You need to recover the proof of discovery document to complete the mission. So I'm just gonna approach this training container, and we can see if we can lock onto it while we're approaching. And there we go. But I can't start hacking it just yet. I need to be within 5,000 meters to be able to start hacking. And to be able to open the container once we have hacked it, I will need to be within 2,500 meters. So we may as well get within 2,500 meters straight away. This is the relic container. In order to access the contents, you need to use a civilian relic analyzer. Normally, you could expect to find all kinds of useful resources inside. Most of the resources discovered when analyzing related to the production of special equipment known as rigs. The skill books you will need to train in order to produce rigs can be found in these sites, as can the materials and blueprints actually required to make the physical product. For the rig producers, relic sites are particularly valuable. And instead, know that data and relic analyzers are two different things. So this time we're going to use a relic analyzer, but this minigame doesn't change. It's all the same. Lore-wise, it kind of goes something like this: that the humans that millions of years earlier that colonized this area of space they had much more fancier technology than what is available to us right now. So but then the technology was lost, and now we're rediscovering that technology basically. Now, we did have a third site, the gas training site, but I also already know that we will need a special pass key to be able to enter the gas training site. So I'm just gonna warp back to the station and complete these missions before proceeding with the gas sites.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
And don't forget to move the mission items into the item hanger before turning them in. Sometimes it works, though sometimes it doesn't seem to work. I don't know if they've fixed it. They probably have. And then I'm going to complete this mission. And since we have already been to the relic site, I'm just going to request the next mission, accept it, and then complete it. And so now we should have been given 2 new skill books. I'm going to open my item hanger here, and I won't do any exploration, so I won't train these, but I will still right click and inject skill. And oh, we need a survey level 3. Let's try the hacking skill, but I think we need survey level 3 for that one as well. Okay, electronics upgrades level 3. Let's check the market for these skill books. I think I might have survey level 1, because I think we were given that earlier. So if we go to scanning, yes, survey level 1. So the hacking skill needed the electronics upgrade level 3. Let's check the market for that one. And yeah, we can buy it on the station for 100,000 ISK. Let's see what this does. Skill at installing electronic upgrades such as signal amplifiers, co-processors, and backup sensor arrays. 5% reduction of CPU needs along models requiring electronic software skill level. And this is a quite important skill because it allows us to use co-processors, and there are plenty of fits out there for ships that require those, no matter what kind of ship you're flying. So I'm actually going to buy this skill book. Buy. And then I'm going to train that to level 1. And it's pretty good to train skills to level 1 all the time. Because they stack up, and for instance, if we go into gunnery, and we can see here that the gunner skill increases rate of fire by 2%, while the small hybrid turret increases damage by 5% per skill level. So and well, they're kinda. It's not the best example, I guess, but it's often it takes. They're both 1x skills, you know. So if we trained up gunnery to level 3, they both would have 20 hours on them. But it would take longer to train one of them up to level 5 than it would take for both of them to train up to level 4. So, and since they stack, it would thus be better to just train up both to level 4 before moving on to level 5. And if you're into shooting things, then your gunner skills will be important to train. But let's move on with the final part of the exploration career missions here. So I'm going to request another mission. And once we complete this mission, we will be given the Heron, which is the Caldari exploration ship. If you're playing one of the other factions, you will get a different ship. Then you will be given, as a Amarian, you will get the Magnet. And there's no real big difference to these ships between the factions. They all really do the same thing. They all really have the same bonuses, but their fittings are a little bit different. The Heron is a popular exploration ship because it has a lot of medium power slots, and incidentally, it's the medium power slots you put all the exploration equipment, apart from the probe launcher, which you put in the high slots. Though the Magnet, these exploration ships has a bonus to salvaging as well. So the Magnet is a very popular salvaging ship because it has a lot of low slots. So you just fill up those low slots with expanded cargo holds, and then you can hold as much as possible. The Gallant get the Imicus, and it doesn't. It also have a lot of medium power slots, but not as many low power slots. So, and if you're playing Minmatar, you will be getting the Probe. And this is what it looked like. Did I forget to show the Gallant one? I think I did. And that's what it looked like. Anyway, let's move on with this final part of the exploration career. All we have to do is accept the mission, and then we remember I mentioned we need a special pass key to be able to enter this site. So when we accepted the mission, we were granted this proof of discovery gas pass key. So we need to move that into our ship. And now we are ready to undock. Yes, it's very important that you do not forget items that you need for a certain mission, because you won't be able to complete the mission if you forget them on the station, and they won't magically appear inside your ship already when you accept the mission. So now I go back to personal, right-click in space again, go back to personal locations and gas training site, warp to within 0.
Warp drive active.
Now, if you want to, you can delete these locations we saved after you're done, but you could also keep them and rename them to a safe location, because if you're in low sec or null sec and there are a lot of people that want to kill you in local, it's quite good to have these safe locations that you can warp to. I'll talk a little bit more in a moment about how to make safe spots. You're almost on pallet. This is the last site. I'm glad to see you made it this far. You're now inside the gas site training area. Ahead of you, you should see another acceleration gate. To access a second room, you'll need to have the passkey that your agent placed inside your item hanger.
Warp drive active.
Now, if we start warping here, you can quickly hit Control B to bring up the new location, then just click Submit. And since we were in warp while we hit the Submit, we have now created a location very far behind us. And you can do that anytime you're in warp, and to create locations randomly in space and get safe spots that way. So I'm going to call this safe 2. So if you don't have any saves, you can just warp to something really far away in the system, like this station here is pretty far away. And while you're in the middle of the warp, you just save a location, and then you right click and warp to that location, and you'll be in the middle of nowhere where nobody else can warp, unless they have combat scanner probes, then they can scan you down. So it's might be important to keep moving all the time and have a lot of these save spots and warp between them. Excellent work. Now don't forget to recover the proof of discovery gas document from the container. They will prove you made it out here. If someone else has already made it to the site before you, then there may not be a document immediately available. If you find the container empty, wait a few seconds and a new one will be produced. So the container is really close to us. We just have to get a little bit closer and open the container. And now we can go back to the station.
Warp drive active.
And I'm going to create another save spot just to demonstrate it. Hit Control B and then Submit.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
And let's not forget to move these items into the item hanger. And then we can talk to the career agent. Complete mission. Excellent work, Jan. young Kumamatu. For passing the exploration training program, you have been awarded with a scanning frigate. Hopefully you'll make good use of it. There are many corporations that would be happy to land themselves a rookie capsuleer with good knowledge of scanning. But if not, the ISK you'll get in exchange would help you with the purchase of some exploration related skill book. Now let's close that, and we're closing in on our time here, but I think we are going to do the first business mission as well that I originally wanted to make or do. So we're gonna talk to this guy again. He just wants us to fly from here to Unpass, so I'm going to set destination over there, and then I'm going to add waypoint to this station again where we came from. All we have to do is carry some data sheets and then come back here. So and since the Bantam is the fastest ship we have, that's the ship we're going to use. So I'm just going to accept this mission. Close that, and then like before, we must not forget the data sheets in our item hangar, so load it up into the ship, and then we're ready to undock. And once again we have our route marked in yellow in the overview. Don't confuse the final destination for the first destination, because our station is marked yellow, but that's our final destination. We first want to go to Unpass and dock up at that station where we need to deliver the data sheets. So click on Unpass first and jump through.
Warp drive active.
Now that we are in the Unpass system, we can see that the final destination station is marked in yellow, so I'm going to select it and click dock.
Warp drive active.
Now you might have figured that the exploration career missions were all about exploration and hacking. The business chain is all about courier missions and trading and the market, and this was a courier mission. I will talk more about trading and the market in the next episode. So now that we have docked at the final destination, we once again need to move the data sheets into the item hangar, and then we can talk to our agent here that gave us a mission, despite that he's not on this station. Sometimes that's possible, other times it is not possible. But I'm going to talk to him now and complete the mission, and that will have granted us the mining frigate, but it will be on the station where the agent is, so we will have to go back to the station where he came from to pick up the mining frigate skill book. And I will do so now. In the previous episode we trained drones to level 3, as we can see here in our notification feed. And we did that because we will get really good use of drones later on. So, but we will need one more skill book, and if we open up our training queue here, and we got drones level 3 right here, I'm going to show information on that, and click required for level 3. Well, it just says level 1 for all these drones, but we won't be able to use those drones unless we have one more skill. And for that skill we need level 3, and that is the light drone operations. So I'm going to right click on it and view market details, and we can see that there is in this system on the station we're about to talk on, but one is being sold by a player for 70,000 ISK, and the other one is being sold by NPCs for 50,000 ISK. So it is quite common that people buy skill books of the NPCs in the newbie systems and put them up at a more expensive price on the market to try and scam some newbies into making a quick buck. But here's how you tell if a skill is sold by, or an item in general is sold by an NPC or a player. Out here in under expires in, we can see that this skill first one over here expires in 24 days and 22 hours. That means it is being sold by a player, because players can only put up items on the market for a maximum of 90 days, while NPC sale orders usually last for about a year, so 364 days in this case. I think that's a little over a year. But we won't fall for this trap, and an easy way to find the cheapest as fast as possible is to click on price over here, and we will sort by price. But right now we're sorting by most expensive at the top to the cheapest at the bottom. We want to have the cheapest at the top, so we click on price once again, and we have cheapest at the top. Now something else changed here. We can see to the left here quantity, that's not so important, but jumps is important. You can, in EVE Online, you can't just buy items and have it magically appear on the station you're in. You actually have to go to the station where it's being sold and pick it up. And this one at the top is being sold 7 jumps away, so we have to travel 7 jumps to pick it up. But I don't want to do that. If you scroll down, we can see here's one that says station. That means that this one is being sold on the station, and it is just as cheap as all these ones up here. So we're going to buy this one. Buy. And then I'm going to train. But before we log off, I'm going to train mining frigate to level 1, because we will need it later. It won't let me train it. I'll take inject for now, see what's up with that. And we will also inject the light drone operations, inject. And we'll also inject the industry skill, because, well, we have it, so we might as well. We were given it for free in a mission, so we might as well inject it, Now, I kind of forgot to mention this in the previous episode, but if you're playing Galent, I think you might get a free drones skill book from the advanced military career missions, but I'm not entirely sure. It's a really cheap skill book, so if you did buy it, that's not that's not the entire world. You can give it to a friend or try and sell it. And I want to make sure that I'm training other skills than just these here. And yes, I think I couldn't take train now to level 1 on these, because I will need to knock power grid management to level 4 off the training queue to do so. But we're going to start by training the mining frigate skill. Actually, I want to put it right on top, because we are going to need it in the business career, but we won't need any higher than level 1, so I'm just going to train to level 1. And then I'm going to queue up light drone operations to level 2. And don't forget to hit apply. And now we are set for this time. We have a whole bunch of skills that we'll train while we are offline and doing other things. So I really hope this was of help to you out there if you're new to Evo Line, and fly safe.